Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. So, thanks to everybody. A common thing that we've seen, or that and the feedback that we've gotten so far, is that people had the limitation around having to depend on OpenAI and all the stuff, and that's why we've decided to kind of like start in a different way, right? So, if you come here, I'm sharing my screen. Let me know once you can see my screen. Uh, Let me know once you can see my screen. So I have a bunch of NA10 instance, one on the cloud, one running on the local, right? So my local instance is running here. You can see localhost this 5678. And then I think I have one on the cloud, the very one that was, showed last week that we worked on last week, right? Yeah. So now, what what we did last 2 weeks was this OpenAI. We just worked on OpenAI, right? But now, OpenAI is just an AI model. It's not the only AI model that exists out there in the world. Yeah, right. We have a bunch of other AI models. So the AI model that we'll be using today is the AI model we'll be using is Llama, but we will be using a wrapper. Sorry, can I get a confirmation that I'm still audible, please?
Yes, you are.
Okay. All right. So to get around the limitation of okay, you have to have API key and pay some certain amount to OpenAI and all of that. So we'll use Llama. Llama is so popular. Llama is so popular. If you go to just put LAMA Llama, it's an AI model released by Facebook, and recently it became a multimodal model, right? So if you come here, you'll see www.llama.com. You'll see, introducing Llama 3.2, the OpenAI model. You can fine tune, distill, and deploy anywhere. Is now available in more versions. So now we have. So we're going to, uh, you know, use a lighter version so that I can run on our laptops. It comes with a constraint. It won't be as intelligent, it won't be as smart as the one on OpenAI, that you could use API key for, the one that you could, that you would have to pay for, but it gives you an understanding, at least, locally, for something that you can, work with on your system. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Right. So we'll be working with the Llama lightweight, Llama. Uh, and if you come here, it's actually, don't worry. Yeah, if you come here, you'll see the benchmarks of Llama 3.2. Llama 3.2 is pretty versatile. This is how it's tagged with other. So this is the lightweight one. The lightweight one, these are benchmarks. You could Google them and check out what they mean, but the bigger the number, the better. So these are lightweight. I already said it that the lightweight Llama, the 1 billion to the 3 billion, is not as powerful, but it is good enough, right? So you can see the lightweight scoring 49 here. Llama 3.2, 3 billion. This is 1 billion. Scored 49. The 3 billion scored 63. In fact, it did better. The 3 billion did better than Gemma 2B. And then this 5 is from Microsoft, right? And then if you want to see the bigger models, I think there's a benchmark for that too elsewhere. But we would not be working with Llama directly. We'll be using a wrapper for Llama, right? And the name of the wrapper is called OZ. Yeah. The name of the wrapper is called Llama, right? To set up Olama is very straightforward and easy. You know, I think I have one here. To set up Olama is very straightforward and easy. If you come here to type Olama and then click the Olama model, all it's going to ask you is to create an Olama account. And when you say create an Olama account, the only thing it will require from you is the ports, the URL and the port that Olama is running on, and that's it. So how do you make Olama run on this port locally? You can see localhost, right? You can see localhost. And then this is the port that Olama is running on, that is the locally deployed AI model running on your system, right? So for you to run this on your local system, you have to go to olama.com. Is it .com? Yes, olama.com. Let's be working with each other so that you don't get lost. It will be better if you're on your system right now, so that you can be sure you're not missing any step. If you have any question, please raise your hand. Nurudin, you have a question?
Oh, I'm fine.
Sorry, Nurudin?
Said I'm fine for now.
Okay, your hand is up. You can bring it down. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, try to bring it down. Okay, so if you go to olama.com, go to down, you'll see the download button, right? Someone is raising their hand. Kenneth? Okay, Kenneth, I'll have to give you access to talk. Kenneth, you can unmute. Kenneth? Okay, I guess Kenneth is not with us, or maybe he raised his hand mistakenly. Okay, so when you are on olama.com, just click download. So there is Olama available for Mac OS, Linux, and Windows. Windows is on preview, but it should work fine. Linux and Mac OS are quite stable, right? So once you download, you will have something that looks like this. I think I just downloaded one. Where is my downloads? Yeah. Have you downloaded it? Once you download for Mac OS or for whatever OS you're using, it's pretty light, about 178 MB. Yes, so it says Olama Darwin. I think I already have it. It's a zip file. So once you unzip it, you would then be able to install it, right? So this is it, Olama. So this is the zip file, and then after unzipping it, it just became like this, right? And then double tap on the zip extraction. Double tap on the zip extraction, and then you will just install it normally like you install normal software. So after doing that, you will have Olama on your system. Olama is not a model. Olama is just a wrapper to speak to the model, right? So now, by doing that, I've started Olama. By just going to my this place and starting Olama, I've just started Olama, but I'll stop it right here. I'll stop it right here. So for you to, after doing that, you will now need to run Olama, right? You will need to run Olama. And to do that, you will do something like this. Exit. Clear. So once you have installed it, run Llama, run Llama 3.2. Llama 3.2 is very lightweight. So it will install a lightweight version for you, a lightweight version of this for you or your system. So it will take a couple of moments. So try to be on a very good internet, right? Let your internet be as strong as possible so that it can be as fast as possible to install. So what is happening here, once you run Llama, run Llama 3.2, is that it will pull the actual Llama model from Meta, from Facebook, and put it on your desktop. That model is a similar model running on OpenAI, server. Now you have it running on your system. So once you have that running, so it's starting. Llama is starting on my system. It's a couple of moments to pick up. Imagine I am on a MacBook Pro, very old MacBook Pro, but now I can run an AI model on my system. Can someone ask a question? Can someone, give me a question to ask this model? Don't worry, this is just a terminal interface to interact with the model. There, you will be able to, have a better way to interact with the model later. We can set that up later. But this is, just a way for you to test if the model works. It's a send a message. So I can say, what is the square root of 16? So it's thinking. Of course, it is slower because, my Mac doesn't have any GPU. It doesn't have anything, all those hardware to run. But yes, this is an AI model, a generative AI model running locally within my system, within a MacBook Pro. And you can do this as well for your Windows, for your Linux machines as well. So you can ask any question that you ask ChatGPT, normally you can ask it and then it will be able to give you an answer. So this is a zero-shot answer, an answer that is able to provide to you without you having to retrain or fine-tune it. That is a zero-shot answer, right? What is the capital of Nigeria? Fantastic, right? Abuja is the capital of Nigeria. So now we have the AI model running on my system locally with Llama. Llama is the wrapper that pulled the Llama model. My system is really screaming right now. It's crying. I can see it, but yeah, is a replacement for OpenAI. Instead of you paying, that all of that money, putting your card, and I know that in Nigeria, cards don't work well. So yeah, this is going to be a very perfect replacement for OpenAI. So now, once you've gotten to that stage where Llama is running on your local, you now need to save it, right? So to save it, all you need to do is Llama save. Llama and save. So I already have Llama running. So let me stop it so that I can save it. So once you run Llama save, right, it will say that Llama host. Can you see? This is the whole Llama host. That thing that was asked of me to provide on the N8N UI, this is it right here, right? So it's in library, CPU. Of course, I don't have GPU. I have total of 16 gigabyte. I have total of 16 gigabyte on this Mac, and then so it is just going to use the best model that is possible to run on this hardware at this time. So I would recommend that you do this on a system that is 16 gig and above, actually, for the best experience. Right. So now that I've done Olama serve, Olama is running here. Also, I can ask questions and it should be able to answer me. What is the cube root of 125? Should be able to answer me because Olama is served. And then I can see how it's thinking right here. You can see Llama model 3.2, 3B instruct. So it's running 3B instructs right now. Right. So this is the general tag is a model from Facebook or Meta, and languages include English. Of course, I can ask you to translate something from English, something to English or to Germany or to French. These are the languages, and these are just the metadata about the model that is currently running right now on my computer. So yes, yeah, that's it. Okay, I can see hands up. Who did I lose? Have I lost anybody? Kenneth. Hello, Kenneth. You can speak, Kenneth, if you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Kenneth.
Okay. Each time I try, I last I saw Lama on the local system. But it keep on
I can't hear you well, Kenneth.
Okay, I'll put on chat if my mic is not okay.
Okay, I will be. Yeah, use your key. My network is still struggling to download the Olama software. I cannot hear anything. Is it just me? I think it's likely just you. It's probably just you. You may want to, check what your network is saying. Right. So just use the Q&A part. Thanks. Any other question from anybody? Any question? Okay. No, I'm guessing there's no question. If you want to run this model on your system, like experience it the way you experience OpenAI, that's also possible. All you just have to do is to go to GitHub, type GitHub. I think it is called Open Web UI. Just write it, Open Web UI or Llama, something like that. I think it will. Yes, Open Web UI. This is it. So what this is going to do for you, user-friendly AI interface, supports Olama Open AI API, right? Can you see? Supports Olama Open AI API. So if you would like to, for whatever reason at all, you would like to, run your own UI as well. So you can just do this, Open Web UI. So you can install it via pip install Open Web UI and then Open Web UI serve. Once you do that, you'll see this interface. Okay. Is someone trying to say something? I'll have to. There's a lot of noise coming from your end, Kenneth. I'll have to disable you. Okay, so Kenneth is saying I have installed and run Olama 3.2, but my system resource is too small. What is your system resource? What's your system resource currently? Okay. I'm not getting any feedback. Okay. Do you want us to install the UI too? Would you like to see that as well? Is that something interesting?
Yes, we can see it.
I'm asking if you would like us to install the UI too. Actually, there are a bunch of UIs. Open LLM UI interfaces. There are a bunch of them. It's not only that one. So yeah, so if you check here, you will see the list of all the local. Okay, we have Streamlit Grid. Okay, text generation web UI. This is a good one. Then which other one? I'm looking for the popular ones. Olama web UI. Let me just take a look at it too. So this is another one. Separately, it's different, completely different from what I initially just showed you, right? Also works well. You have to install it. Each of these have a separate installation instruction, and it is just useful. Okay, so this is the one I already showed you. This is the one I already showed you, right? So if you have Docker already installed, it's super easy to do. You just run this Docker component, right? Just copy these and then run this, and that'll be it, right? So you come here. If you can write Docker on your system, and then it shows something like this, that means you have Docker installed. So if you have that, you can then easily just start that. So I think I don't have Docker running. So to do that, all I just need to do is to start Docker, and then I can restart the command, right? It's as simple as that. So once I do this, this UI will start running on my system. So this is for folks that would like to run the UI on their machine. So what we've done, we now have Olama running on our system. So for you to be able to use the Olama running on your system, you would need to also make sure that the N8N is running on your system, because the N8N running on the cloud cannot connect to Olama running on your local. That's not going to work, right? Okay, for example, now, so this is a cloud version deployed on my own cloud, right? This is not the N8N cloud. So imagine I have Olama right here. Imagine I have Olama model right here, and I set a new credential. Can you see? From this place.azurewebsites.net, and I'm now going to localhost. Obviously, that's not going to work, right? So if I'm going to do that, if I'm going to, use Olama to connect to a cloud service, the Olama must be running on another cloud service. But, for example, from here, localhost, can you see? This N8N is running locally. All you just have to do is to run N8N locally is either to use the Docker, the Docker installation example that I gave last 2 weeks, or the node example. The node example is just to do N8N, npm I anything. Boom. You have anything running, and that's what's actually, as a matter of fact, that's what's running this. That is what's running this. Let me go. Let me see if I can go there. See? Okay, these are Kubernetes stuff. Okay, so there's some Kubernetes stuff right here. Don't worry about that. Okay, all right. So, where is it? Okay, can you see? This is npm I anything, and then boom, anything started running. So that's the anything that is actually running these guide that you're looking at. So for you to be able to connect to anything, to the Olama running on your local system, you would need to make sure that the anything is also running on your local system so that they can talk to each other, right? Local host to local host, essentially, so if that makes sense. So, yeah. Who is lost? Is anybody lost? Are we following?
Yes, sir, we are following, sir.
All right.
Awesome. I have some. I'm just curious, and I missed the class 2 weeks ago, so I'm sorry if I'm asking questions that you already answered. But I know you said you just use Docker to run Olama, but how are they related? Docker and Kubernetes, how are they related to this? Because I know of Docker and Kubernetes, like just in relation to DevOps, and I'm just curious how this is related to
Don't
this.
worry about Kubernetes. Docker alone is fine, right? Kubernetes is for something else, So the logs, I just saw the logs of Kubernetes and I felt like, okay, it's unrelated. Don't worry about that, But you could, okay, because you didn't participate in the last class. What we were, what we started talking about from the last class was that you can actually build complicated, solve complicated AI problems with no code. That's the case that we're trying to prove, right? We've done, the classical AI systems with no code, with 9, and now we're trying to, establish that you can also build complicated generative AI systems also with no code. So to do that, you have to go to npm n8n, npm n8n. So just go to npm n8n, and then go to the link right here, and then you'll be able to install n8n, right? There are 2 ways to install n8n. This is the first method, right? This is the first method. For you, before you can do this, you have to do this, npm I n8n to install it. Once you've done npm I n8n, you then need to do npx n8n. Once you've done that, you have this. You have something like this ready to go. You have something like this ready to go. So you can now start designing your workflow, doing whatever it is that you need to do, right? So that is that. To start the workflow engine, npx n8n. Now, you have an option of running it with Docker. All you just have to do is to make sure that Docker is already installed in your system. You don't have to know anything about Kubernetes and all those stuff, right? Don't worry about it. Or you just copy this and then put on your terminal once you have Docker running. This is just an option or an alternate option to this. And you just need one. So if you're comfortable with Docker, use Docker. If you're comfortable with Node, use Node. Does that make sense now?
Yes, that helps a lot. Thank you so much.
Cool. All right. Okay, so yes. So from here, we just wanted to go to this place real quick, the Olama GitHub, so that we can see all the model options that we have. So these are all the models available. So we have, so you can do Llama, instead of doing Llama run Llama 3.2, right? You could have done Llama run you could have done, llama run 3.2 colon 1b, right? So this is another thing you could do. So this is for folks that I'm seeing messages on the chat that their system is too small to run it. I think that's from, I don't know, who was that? Kenneth? So since your system is too small to run the 3 billion parameter, so try running the 1 billion. If your system cannot run the 1 billion parameter, it's just too, that's too bad. I don't think there's anything that can be lower than that, right? So yeah, so try to run this. Oh, llama run llama 3.2 colon 1b, right here in your terminal. So that should be good enough, for you to go. It should be good enough for that. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm looking for okay. How you can know that your API is working fine is to, you can use Postman if you have Postman. So just come here to import and then paste what you've got there. Import into collection, right? And then yeah. So once you, I think the model is actually slowing down my system as well. The model is pretty heavy. I'm running the 3 billion parameter. So okay. So this is the data. So application JSON. If this works, then I mean this can be your equivalent of Open API. I think it's still, I don't know, it's still running. I can inspect what's happening by just coming here. Okay. I think this might be some resource constraint situation here. Let me cancel. Okay. API/generate of a post should have responded by now. Okay, I should probably run the 1 billion parameter myself. This was fine earlier. I think it's because I'm running Docker now. Let me stop Docker. Quit Docker. Yeah. I think it's because I'm running Docker as well. Okay. So ideally, the response should okay. Let me use the terminal here. Why is the sky blue? Let's see what happens. It's taking forever here as well. Okay, I mean, running an AI model locally is it's a resource intensive stuff. It's super resource intensive. Okay, I think it's actually answering here. The Earth's atmosphere scatters sunlight in all directions, shadow blue wavelengths. So it's struggling. I could really see it struggling really hard. Perhaps it would be better with 32 gigabyte of RAM and above. It's likely going to be better with that. Okay. Actually, that's a good answer. Oh. Okay. Okay. So can you see what is happening here? It actually finally responded. So you remember when we started this series? When we started this series and we're talking about how the how generative AI model predicts the next world, right? So in this case, right now, why is the sky is blue? The token, the tokenized number for why, the number for space that is the sky blue and the question mark will be fed into the model, and then it will be predicting the next word one after the other, right? That is what is happening here. So it says the sky appears blue because of a phenomenon called Rayleigh scattering, right? Scattering, yes. Full stop. Is that a full stop or comma? That's a comma. So there's a done, there's a done parameter that comes with it that states whether it's true, is done or not. So the done is always false until it's actually the last token, right? So that is how it's stitching it together. If you remember that class, I think that should be class 3 or 4, where that was explained. So, comma, named after the physicist Lord Rayleigh, full stop. When sunlight enters Earth's atmosphere, it encounters tiny molecules of gases such as nitrogen and oxygen, and then you can keep, till it's done. Total duration, it took so long, of course, because this is a local system. This is my local system. If I add a little bit of RAM to it, it's going to definitely be much better. Load duration and all of that. So this is the token. See the token sequence. Context. So this is the token sequence. So each of these numbers meant words, right? If you remember the process of converting, data to information through an AI model. Words are tokenized, and then which means converted to numbers. Pixels on images are also tokenized. Frequencies in audios are also tokenized. So this is what the AI predicted as the output. That if you look into the dictionary of the model, this particular token ID would mean one word. This particular one also would mean one word. This particular one also would mean another word, right? And that is how it's able to compose that word together, right? So now it says done reason, stop. Done here is now true. That makes sense? I hope you're seeing how some of our earlier classes are kind of like, now becoming relevant here.
Yes, connected.
Right. You're able to connect it, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Right. So what he's doing, it sounds intelligent to us, but what he's doing is looking for the mathematical function that maps to reasoning. When we build an AI model, it finds the best function that fits our goal. Our goal is to create a model that reasons, right? So it looks for the mathematical function that expresses reasoning. And what a mathematical function comes up with is the next word, prediction of the next word. So what is the next word that I will come up with that will, map approximately to reasoning? And it keeps predicting the next word, till it's done. And then once it's done, you would have something that looks like this. The Earth's atmosphere scatters sunlight in all directions and shutter blue, blah blah blah. When sunlight enters the Earth's atmosphere, then blah 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 blah. It's almost the same thing. Excuse me. It's almost the same thing, but not particularly the same thing. Excuse me. It's quite some work to talk for a long time. All right. So now we can see that our model is working, right? It took time. In fact, I'm going to be weary to see it took 2 minutes, 31 seconds to finish the whole thing. That's a really long time, and this is the reason why OpenAI shines. It's not it's impossible to do these things. It's actually very, very easy to do these things. It's the scalability, right? Now, if you have the ChatGPT mobile app, you can now speak to it, and then it instantly starts responding. So it's a scalability part that OpenAI has solved for, and you will see that OpenAI really has been conquered by, if you come here, there's really nothing that they are solving for apart from the scalability. Here, you would see that Llama model benchmark. Where is it? Okay, hold on. If you come here, you will see the Llama model benchmark models. All right, so so these are all the models that you can run with Ollama, right, on your local system. Just do Ollama, run the name of the model, boom, and you're good to go. Right? Whatever the model was built for, you'll be able to, interact with it on your local system. Okay, so math trial 7B designed for math reasoning. This is a very interesting model, actually. Sorry, I can't find Lamart. Okay, Lamart is a collection of. Okay. So let me get him here. Okay, so if you look at this, llama 3.1, sorry, I'm looking for 3.1. So if you look at 3.1, llama 3.1 beats OpenAI. Okay, it's almost the same, but at least, yeah, it beats Claude. It beats Claude, and at least it beats GPT-4 as well. You know, this is llama 3, but this is, mind you, 405 billion parameters, right? So we're only running 3 billion parameters on our local system, and you can see how slow it's running. But point I'm trying to prove is that if you have a system strong enough and resourced enough, you can run intelligent systems that beats OpenAI, you know, service, right? So this is another benchmark. I think this is about memory. MMLU is about memory. You can check out, you know, what this benchmark means. Also, almost, you know, at pair with all the popular models out there. This is GPT-4. You can see it beats GPT-4 in almost all the benchmarks, right? So Omni is beating Llama 3.1 a little bit in most other ones, but just by tiny slight margin. And for Claude, it's about, you know, just in and out like that. So similarly for Llama 8B and then Llama 70B, you would be able to run Llama 8B on a 16 gig system as well. You know, it might just be a little bit slow, but yes, you would be able to do that as well. So point I'm trying to essentially prove is that, okay, you can do without OpenAI. It just comes with its own constraint of speed and, you know, time it takes to run all these resources. So now, with all of that said, we can connect Olama to our model by essentially just coming here and then putting the yeah, that is the URL and the port that the Olama is running on, and then click save. Could not connect with this setting, so it's happening. Error, connection refused. Okay, connection refused. Okay, so that is likely due to some that's likely due to should work. I'm allowing localhost. So this is Olama origins, right? So because the origin is coming from localhost 5678, so this is the source of the network of the call. You know that, so it's been refused. So it's saying localhost star 127 column star. Okay. This should work. Let me change it to 127.0.0.1. See. Duplicate. So I don't lose all of that. 0.0.1. What's my, do I remember this? Not sure I do. let me get my password. I'll stop sharing for a moment. So what we've spent the day doing essentially is, installing Llama on our system. Hopefully we'll be able to get to the automation parts very soon. Okay, so okay. I think the issue is related to N8N only able to work with Llama 2. I think that's what the issue is about. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. So I changed this from OpenAI to, yeah, so it's saying parameter model has issues, right? Because it's not able to connect to Llama from right here. And model which generated there's a problem losing the parameter option from the server. The service refused connection. Perhaps it's offline. It is not offline. I'm sure of that. Okay. Yeah. So it looks like it's not able to discover it. What is 2 plus 2? It's just unable to discover it. The model is alive and running. Okay. Okay. This was just working a moment ago. I don't know. Let me see. Okay. So in order not to waste much of our time, I think you can, explore around connecting Llama to these. Yeah, well, it's saying ticked now. Llama Caulfield, yeah, we couldn't find it. Llama Caulfield says 4 model Llama 2 not found. Try putting exactly. So it's trying to get Llama 2. It's trying to get Llama 2. I don't think I have enough resources to run Llama 2 on my system. That's the issue. I think that's the issue. I don't have enough resources to run Llama 2. Where is Llama? some models. Llama 2 is a collection of foundational model ranging from 70B. Okay. So what I'll do here is to add options. Still. Llama 3 point. So I'll just do this. Llama 3.2. I'll hard code it. You know, Llama 3.2. Let's see. Hello. Okay, still unable to get it. I think. Yeah, we can just leave this for later and then attempt these again. Yeah, it came back again as to 3 points to Llama 2. It came back to it. Came back to 3 points. .2. Okay, so okay. Looks like it's finally working. Ah, goodness. Okay, so how we know is to see what's going on here. Yeah, it's finally working. Yeah, how may I assist you? Goodness. Wow. Okay. Can you repeat all the debugging that we've just done? Should I do it all over again?
Please.
How do you want to?
Okay, so what the issue why N10 wasn't connecting to Olama was because N10 has hard-coded Llama 2. As at the time, as at the time N10 was released, Llama 2 was the in model at that time, was the popular model at that time, right? So they just hard-coded it. So what I had to go do is essentially to get into the Olama. So this is the Olama guy. So remember, this part had OpenAI, where we had to put our OpenAPI key the last time,
Yeah.
right? From last week.
Yes.
So now we replace the reason in the brain with Olama after we started running Olama from here, right? That's what we just did. And now, so to make sure that Olama runs Llama 3.2, just come here. What you find here is Llama 2. So just change it to Llama 3.2 because that is the model that we are running, the 3 billion parameter. So if you're running for people that are on low resource device, you may be running Llama 3.2 :1B. if you're running the 1 billion parameter, I'm running the 3 billion parameter. So if you're running the 1 billion parameter, you can just, this is what you put in your anything config, if that makes sense. Right? That's what you do.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's clear.
So, okay. Someone is asking a question? Or someone wants to ask a question?
No, we are. It's clear now.
Okay, cool. Reload the model. It will run. Just install the processes. Will stop. Will stop still. It will finishes. Okay. All right. Okay. So we are good up until this point. Now, remember what we did last week, or last class, was about letting an intelligent system, do stuff behind the scenes. It could, we solved a text classification problem. Say, okay, if a customer is complaining about something, categorize the text from the customer to say whether it is a product complaint, or it is a accounting issue, or it is a whatever issue, right? So now at this point, you can now start solving for all those cases at this point. And what I would just do here is to, because we used my system is really hanging right now because of all these things that I'm running. Okay, yeah. So I noticed that the chat trigger that we used confused people a lot, and they were expecting, some phone calls to be made, or some, actual interactions to be made, but it's just a low-level demonstration to trigger the workflow. Now, today, I will just introduce us to another trigger called webhook. So webhook. Wow. Okay. Time is really flying now. So if you come to webhook is also a trigger. So we do a post. We want to post something. We want to post something. Okay. Let's just let's leave it like this, right? For now. And then we move it here. In fact, I can delete this. This is what we did last week, yeah? Yeah, this is what we did last week. So I'll just delete this. So to kind of like give us a better view of, the reasoning. So I would attach this. I would attach this. So I would now say, let's solve something interesting today with this. So, okay, so where's our system prompt? Task from node automatically basic LLM chain. Okay, add prompt. Okay, so let's say, let me see. So, let me just execute this previous node, and so that I can invoke it. It's currently running. So I need to copy this and then go to Postman. I need to go to Postman and hit that endpoint. That's essentially triggering the workflow. Okay. I think, am I losing some people? Someone's hand is up. Kenneth? Oh, sorry, I didn't give you permission to speak yet. Kenneth, you can speak now. Hello, Kenneth. Is Kenneth there? Okay.
Mine is on. Hello, mine is on.
Oh, it's showing like it's up here. Okay, no problem. Afolabi.
Okay, thank you. I would just want you to shed more light on what we need Postman for. I know it is used to get the endpoint of our data center, but I just want to understand more of the connection with the LLM.
Okay. You remember what we did last week, where we were like, where is that stuff on Telegram again? Let me go to Telegram. This is what we did last week. So we said you'll be provided with customer queries, customer service queries. The customer query will be delimited in this place, and then provide your input in JSON formats, whatever, blah, blah, and then categorize them into this category. These are all the categories, right? So these are all the categories: billing, technical support, account management, and general queries. So we used the chat interface to trigger the workflow last week. So I'm just trying to show us, because the chat interface is a final consummation. Nothing else can use that chat interface. So you can what I'm trying to show us is that instead of using the chat interface, you can use a webhook to trigger the workflow where you will receive the customer complaint via the API, and the workflow through the AI reasoning will be able to tell you the categorization answer that you're asking for. Does that make sense?
Too deep. Who created the API? Are we the one that created the API?
We just did.
Or...
Yes, we just created the API right here.
Yeah. Now it's clear now.
Okay, so if you come here, I think I didn't spend enough time there. Let me cancel it again. So I removed the chat interface and I put webhook. Right. So when I come to this webhook and I double click it, it will show me, see, this is the API that anything has given me for that webhook, for that workflow. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Or if I want to even customize it, I can say Afolabi API. Right? Can you see? So this is a valid API that, you can do authentication if you want, basic either JWT if you want, but just for the sake of simplicity, we're not going to be doing any of that. But this is an API that you can supply all those, customer information and all those things too. And then in the response, it will tell you, oh, this is the answer to the problem you're trying to solve. So as a matter of fact, you can use N8N with all these other components to build an API that you will serve to the front end. Maybe you have a React front end or Vue front end or whatever, right? That is possible.
Okay, it's clear now.
Okay. Kenneth, you are still raising your hand, though.
I don't know anything. Lower arm is up now.
I'm seeing your hand here. Okay, thank you. All right.
Okay.
All right. You lowered it, but it's back up again. No problem. Just mute. No problem. I'll just Okay. All right. So let's quickly run through these. There's a workflow that I would love us to get to. Where let's say we submit a URL and we ask a question to that URL that, okay, what is the content what is the summary of this website? What is it talking about? You know, and the AI actually summarizes the website and then gives us the response of that, you know, in as a response to an API or as a response to a chat, right? That is the workflow that I would want us to design together. You know, I don't know how many issues we're going to face, but, you know, we'll figure it out. Okay. So here, so we've created this API, Afolabi Afolabi API, and then I'll just come here, I'll say post, and then I'll trigger it. This is what I want it to be. I want it to be, you know, a raw where I'll pass customer message. Customer message. Who is raising their hand? I hope it's not Kenneth again. So this is a customer message, right? So this is the customer message that is coming to the API. I want you to delete my profile and all of my data. So I'm trying to clarify what we did last lesson, right? Such that it is not anything else could have triggered that workflow. It doesn't have to be chat, you know. Okay, let it to be clearer the way you know, as we go forward further. So listen for test event. So I'll just say listen for test event, right? And then I send it, and then workflow was started, right? Can you see? Workflow was started, and now I have this. I have this customer message, you know. I don't know if we're following. I have this. I want you to delete my profile. This is what I sent from Postman right here. So I have that. So now let me build a prompt for this AI system, this Olama AI system. I'll quickly build it. And I have a system prompt. The system prompt says what? Where is it? The system prompt says you'll be provided with blah, 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 blah to here. Okay. Okay. Who is raising their hand? It's Kenneth. I will disable you from raising your hand. It's you, Kenneth.
It's really good.
This is you.
It's down now.
So much you. Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to build the system prompt real quick here. So as a system, and then I put this right here. I can expand this a little bit. Why is it? You'll be provided with delimited with hash character. Classify each query into this category and the secondary category. Provide your output in JSON format keys, primary and secondary. You know, primary category, these are the primary category. So now I can say hash, sorry, hash, right? And then I'll put in the customer query, right? I'll put it right here, and then I will drag it into let me just say system prompt, you know, and then use add another prompt. So the next prompt will now be user, which will now be text, which will now be hash, 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 and then customer message, right? And then at the end, hash, 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 because that's what I told you that I would do, right? I want to delete my profile. I want to delete my profile and all of my user data, right? That's what I said I would do. So then what will be the response to this? So at the end, I can say webhook response. Respond to webhook. Who is raising their hand? I really doubt the person wants to talk about something interesting. It will just take us back. Yeah. So now, if I run this, no prompt was specified. Okay. Find below. Today's all my user data, name, user, system charged. Okay, let's attempt to who this is. Kenneth, is there a function to disable somebody from raising their hand? Okay.
How about you? You'll be like, oh,
Your hand is distracting me. Okay. So nope, expected to find prompt in input field called chat input. This is what the chat triggers the node output. To use prompts parameter. Okay. Okay. So I'm testing this node. It is definitely going to be slow because of our Olama. Remember, it is coming here. Olama is reasoning. Olama runner started. It took 15 seconds to even start the runner. Can you imagine that? So it's gonna be slow, unlike the OpenAI version that we did. That will be, would have responded real time, almost instantaneously. But we've just demonstrated that it is possible for you to run AI model locally. At least that is what we've been able to establish. That is what we've been able to establish. Okay. So I think always others with one. So it should have worked. Okay. Okay, sorry. I have to use Olama chat model. So sorry, guys. Olama chat model. Olama 3.2. And then Olama chat model. This is a lang chain. I think that there's a compatibility problem between this. This is a LangChain model. This is a LangChain. We don't want to teach how to do this from the code perspective, right? Because what we're trying to establish is that yes, it's possible for you to do all these things without writing code, right? But it looks like there are some compatibility problems with yeah, with chat model, connecting chat model to Olama. That's what I'm saying. So right here we've inputted our prompt. This is the prompt. Take from previous node automatically. And then that's what we did right here. But it looks like expected to find prompt in the input field called chat input. Right. This is what this is what the chat triggers. Okay. I think something about our last chat trigger node is still affecting it. I started to find a prompt in an input field called chat input. This in chat input. This is what the chat trigger node outputs. To use something else, change the prompt parameter. Okay. So I think it's still saying something about the chat trigger here, which is it's not here. It's really strange. It's really strange that it's saying that. There's really nothing about chat trigger node here. Or possibly I should just, I could just easily create a new workflow. We're running out of time real quick. If we're not able to create the actual automation, who is raising their hand again? Is it only me seeing Kenneth's hand? Is it only me? Or we can all see it?
You can see it.
Kenneth, only God knows what's up with you, man. Yeah, and it's
His hand is up.
Yeah, it's very distracting. It's very, very distracting. Okay, so I think what is likely happening is that we have some residual stuff. I should not be seeing anything about chat input. There should really be nothing about chat input here. Honestly, but it is still complaining about chat input. So it looks like let me refresh it. Let's see. Refresh it to see if that will fix it. I just removed the chat trigger, and that should stop, being an issue. It should really stop it from being an issue. So I'll kickstart these so that we can fire an event. And then we send, it could not be started. Workflows not configured properly. Okay, listen for event. Okay. Respond. So webhook node. That's what's causing that because I have respond to webhook node. So it has run successfully. So I now need to run this, still seeing some chat input. No prompt specified. That is strange. That is strange. Node operational, no prompt specified. Get prompt input by type. No prompt specified. Prompt specified. Okay, so it's still seeing chat inputs. Expect to find prompt in an input field called chat input. Okay. All right. So I would leave these. You can solve these. You can attempt to solve these. If I solve it, I'll share there's something called the code, workflow code, right? So if you create a workflow, you can share it with others by just sharing the workflow code. And then I can import this workflow code by simply coming here and then say import from file, right? If I say import from file, I can then go to downloads where it is, right? I just downloaded something, so my workflow to JSON, and then I can import it, right? So I've just imported it again. So this workflow JSON will be shared in the chat within the week, right? We have about 5 more minutes to go into this class, but if nothing at all, we've been able to establish that yes, running AI model locally is possible. It may be slow, it may be clunky, especially if you have low resource system, and you can connect n8n engine to your local AI system to then accomplish anything that you want to do. The workflow that I would love us to do, there's not enough time, we'll be taking this in the next class, would involve us doing something like webhook. We would use webhook trigger to send something like this. We'll be using the webhook trigger to send something like so you can imagine a system that takes AI summary, something like that, and then you have a raw body. So to take the URL of where you want to go and script, right? And then it will take a special instruction of what you want the AI system to do. So for example, if you're scraping a Crunchbase, or let's say you're scraping TechCrunch news page, right? You put in the URL, and then the special instruction is like, what is the total amount raised by the company mentioned in this article, right? And then the AI system can just look at the body of the URL of the website that you've put in here. So this could be HTTPS techcrunch.com/news URL, and then the special instruction could be, what is the name of the company this article is about, something like that, or how much revenue was mentioned that the company was able to generate, something like that, right? So this is what we the original objective of today's class, but because we had to take a detour to solve the other problems, we could not get to this. So this is what we'll be doing next week. Also, if you can attempt this with your local Olama installation, that would be nice. So you can share your workflow. If you're able to get to this kind of result, that would be very, very good. That would be very, very good. So what you would need essentially to be able to solve this is, of course, you will need a webhook to receive that message. You will need HTTP request. You will need HTTP request to load the URL that has been sent. You will need Olama chat model. You need or LLM. Let me see, basic LLM chain to reason through what has happened. Oh, I see. Okay. So basic LLM chain is tied to charts. So it must just have a chart. Okay. I think I see the reason why we're having the issues we were having earlier. So I removed this. It just needs to be there. It just needs to be there. So I had mistakenly removed it. That explains the reason why we were having the issues we were having. If that helps. Unfortunately, we're out of time. So, but these are the components that you would use. You need a webhook. You need HTTP requests to load the URL, and then you need some forms of LLM chain to reason through the stuff based on the question that the user wants to provide, and then you need a response. And then you need a response LLM. So this is how your workflow will look like. It could be different, some specific details may make it different, but it can, especially around the AI stuff, So if you come here, you can use an AI agent instead, right? You can use an AI agent, which will use a chat model, a memory, or a tool, right? We didn't create any AI agents last week. Wow, okay. So I'll try to make sure that it's part of the objective for next class as well. So you could use an AI agent to do the reasoning, right? But AI agent is maybe an overkill, because an AI agent is essentially something that has tools. Let's create a small one. Let's create a small one before we end the class today. Yeah, let's create a small one. So I'll add an Olama chat model. So Olama. Okay, yes. This, so I'll quickly set this up. Olama 3.2. Yeah, so now this is the reasoning mind, right? So just so that it will be very straightforward and easy, I will use a chat trigger. It's the easiest to create instead of setting up an API one, right? So memory, I can use in memory. You should use in memory window buffer. No, yeah. So you should use in memory, window buffer memory, and then tools. Very interesting, yeah. Tools are the capabilities that the AI model has, right? So you can see, let me add the calculator tool so that I can ask mathematical question. Let me add, so you're giving skills to the AI model, right? So I can add my SQL tool, right? And then I'll have to put an SQL credential here so that if I ask a question about something that looks like an SQL operation, it will be able to do that for me, right? Unfortunately, I don't have an SQL system right here, but you get an idea, right? So you can add any tool, right? Airtable tool, base arrow tool, calculator, Gmail tool, So the Gmail tool will consume the Gmail API. It can do anything. It can send email, receive email, get many email, do all these things, right? And it's a tool. It's different from an action. Remember, it's different from an action. Let me see another tool that I can quickly use. Okay, consume Aka News API. Do I need any credential for this? I don't think so. I don't think I need any credential for this. Do I? It looks like I do. Article ID. Article ID. It needs to come from somewhere. I need a bunch of tools. I think I can put Wikipedia tool. Yeah, I should not need any setting up for what Wikipedia tool. So you can create as many tools as possible. As you can see here, these are all different, Telegram tools, Superbase, Slack, set API, send email, Redis, Postgres. These are all tools that the agent will reason through. So when you ask a question, it should be like, okay, out of all the tools that I have, which one would be useful to solve this problem that the user just, asked me to solve? That's how it works, right? And then to invoke the tool and then run the tool to do whatever it needs to do and then respond back to you. So it could be like, okay, check my email and see if there is any email from Afolabi and respond to Afolabi that, if the email is about XXX, YYY, respond to Afolabi that, I would not be available to, meet up tomorrow anymore, unfortunately. Something like that, right? So it will load a problem. The AI model is the reasoning engine. Will be like, okay, now this is the problem that I need to solve. Here are all this is the memory, historical context of what has happened before, right? And then these are all the tools that I have access to, right? Now, how do I plan to execute to solve that problem, right? It will create a plan and then step through the plan one after the other till it's done, right? So this is a very simple example of an AI agent. We currently have two tools, and I can, simply just, what is the, give me a mathematical problem. What is the square root of 64? Okay. All this, we have an error here. Okay, I think the error is from the Windows buffer memory. Okay. Let me see if I can just run it without adding a memory. Or is the 64? Okay, I'm still having an execution error. This is about what? Tools agent took from previous chat input. Yeah, so this has chat input. I'm beginning to suspect my local installation. I'm probably having issues with my local installation right here. This doesn't seem to be an issue on the web one. But yeah, this is a typical workflow that will, use an AI agent to, solve a problem. And you can have infinite number of tools. Also, you can create tools that, you can write codes, manual codes. I want you to do this, do that, do that. You put all of that instruction within the code, right? And then once you invoke it, invoking it can be through API, it can be through chat, can be through whatever it is, right? and then it will go through all the, it will create a plan. This model, this is the guy, this is the brain, right? It will create a plan and essentially, use the tools that it has to, effect the plan and then respond to you. That is typically how it works. I think I'm having to use the local host because I'm running a local Llama instance. But I think there are some certain settings that are probably, making it not work as it should, as it normally should, like on the web version. But what we'll do is that next week we're going to be solving, use cases. Next week will just be about use cases. I've already given you one use case where we're going to be scraping a website and then asking a targeted question based on the question of the website, and then we can now, perhaps do some, examples of an AI agent that's necessary as well. We have spent 2 hours here on this call today, and it would be, I think we can open the floor for questions at this point. Questions.
Okay, so from me, I think my takeaway is that it's a continuation of what we did last week.
Yes.
Instead of using a chat instance to get our answered, we use an what's it called, an API. Am I right?
Instead of using OpenAI, we use a locally installed AI model.
Okay.
Do you get?
Okay.
Remember last week we had to, am I still sharing my screen? Last week we had to come to this place. Where is it? We had to come to OpenAI platform, come to where is it? Profile, and then user API key, and then copy this key. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Yes, that is because we are using OpenAI model deployed on OpenAI server. And as you heard, everybody was saying that, okay, that the only issue they had was as regards the OpenAI key and all of that, the payments that it needed and all of those things, right? So now that is why we had to say that, okay, yes, even though OpenAI is the most performant way to solve that problem, but you can still solve the problem using other means. You can solve the problem using other means by deploying a local AI model on your system and connecting end-to-end to that local AI model. Exactly now. So
yes, it is.
Instead of getting an API key from OpenAI and then put your card on it, and then add maybe $10 or £10, whatever, now you can run the AI model on your local system and connect your end-to-end to the model running locally on your system, so that you don't have to pay, or so that you don't have to, use OpenAI model. So of course, the consequence of that is that, because your local system would not be as powerful as OpenAI server, it will not be as powerful, not even close, right? But you will have, okay, so if you're trying to solve, if you're deploying your AI system in a company now, and your company is, maybe a Lego tech company, you don't want anybody seeing your files and your cases. You are very, nitpicking about your data. You don't want it exposed. So you don't want even OpenAI to know that you have some data like that. So what we've solved for is good for privacy. It's good for, use cases around privacy, around, all those things. But it comes with the downside of scalability. So that means for you to be able to run it so that it to be fast properly, you would need to maybe, put a 32 gigabyte system or a server. That's all it is doing, serving Olama requests, right? So that is just the downside of it. But it comes to the upside of privacy, upside of having total control on the functionality of the AI system, on how it should work and all of that. So that is the explanation there.
Very clear, sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Were you able to install the OpenAI? Were you able to install the Olama on your system?
No, I haven't. My system is down right now. So after this class, I'm going to work on it during the week.
No problem. Any other question from anybody? Question. All right. Okay. So next week we will round up with the use cases of how you can build intelligent AI systems without writing code. We are ensuring that you can do a lot without writing code, and that's what we stuck to all this while. We will make sure that we create all these things without writing any code. So we'll be grinding down the use cases, the specific use cases of things that you can do with AI, with LLM, even image generation. I think someone texted me one time like that. Okay, can we do image generation with no code? The answer to that is yes, right? Of course, it comes with a downside again on the system resource that it requires to be able to do that. If you don't have system that has high enough spec, it may drag a little bit, right? So that's just the issue there. But yes, it is possible, and we can definitely attempt all of those next week as well. If there is no any other question, am I missing Q&A? Q&A, nothing. Barbara went to the store and bought a shirt for $88. It's at discounted. What is the original price of the shirt? Oh, this is a question from somebody. Okay. Let me see. Let me try this. Let me try this with a pure Olama model without adding any tools. This is good. This is good. Who sent this? Okay. It's the Dr. Tulu. Okay. No problem. But yeah, next week let's join the class early enough so that we can have enough time to grind down the use cases. We would still prioritize local models more than remote API based model, locally based model. So I mean, by that time we would have sorted all the issues with local installation of anything that we're currently having today, and then we'll be able to grind all these use cases. So see you guys in class next week. Thank you, everybody. Have a good weekend.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.